Okay, hi, good morning, and thank you for joining us for this Spotlight on Manitoba online seminar. So we have agents from both Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. Today we've invited Nick from the University of Manitoba and Jenny from the International College of Manitoba to talk to you all about studying in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So Jenny will start by talking about general life in Manitoba and also introduce to you the pathway offered by ICM, while Nick will further detail some of the most prestigious and popular programs, as well as share his own experience as an international student at So let's start with Jenny.
Perfect. Sounds great. I'm going to share my screen here so that we can all see
a
little extra here. So can everybody see that? It's all good. Excellent. So ICM, yes. So ICM, International College of Manitoba, we connect with the University of Manitoba. So Nick and I are good friends, and we work together to make sure that that transition from high school into university is as smooth and effective as possible, right? So what we're doing is we're providing another point for students to come through and go into post-secondary in Canada. So we'll go over a little bit about what that means. As Jennifer mentioned, I'll introduce a bit about Winnipeg, Manitoba, and sort of how the process works as a pathway. And then, of course, Nick will come on and talk a little bit more about the university itself, the programs, the opportunities for students. So some of you may be quite familiar with study abroad and sending students to Canada. Some of you may send students to Manitoba already, which is great. We'll just go over a couple of things to so make sure I know that you know all these details that I think are important to share with future students. One of the things that we've been using lately is our new tagline, our new kind of way to promote ICM and Manitoba as a destination is to make the smarter move. And there are a couple of things that tie into this new tagline, make the smarter move. And we are developing a few new things you'll see soon. Why is it smarter? Well, for one, coming to Canada is a smart move. Education-wise, starting in a destination like Canada, where education is a focus and students are going to have really one of the best possible starts that they can in their higher education journey. It is a journey. A lot of students do start with post-secondary and continue on, and that's something that is possible in Canada. And so that smarter move could be towards institutions like ours, ICM and University of Manitoba. And another reason why it's smarter is that making that move into Manitoba is a lot more affordable. So coming to a place like Winnipeg, where the cost of living is a lot lower, as well as the cost of tuition, is again a smarter move in the right direction for higher education. So just in general, this is sort of the theme of what we'll talk about is choosing that new path, that big, bold decision students make to study abroad, which is very brave, and making that smart move and smart decision to choose a place that supports them and is affordable, is accommodating, and is a place that they're going to succeed. This is the whole point, is we want students to be successful, making the right choice and setting out their future in the right way. So a little bit about where we are. So we're located in beautiful Winnipeg, Manitoba. Right now, we are all enjoying our spring to summer season immensely. We are very excited that the grass is green, the trees are green, the flowers are out. It smells amazing, like flowers and lilacs, especially around campus. So we're very excited about our new season that we've come into, our beautiful summer. For anyone who may not be familiar, we are located on the map. They're right in the center of North America. So we are what we would call the heart of the continent, and for sure the center or heart of the country. Winnipeg, Manitoba, you can see we're quite a big country, Canada. And so the distance between, Winnipeg and where maybe you're familiar with more Toronto, Vancouver, it's over 2,000 kilometers distance between Winnipeg and each side. So it is a big country spread out quite a bit. Being in the center, though, is a really interesting and wonderful place to be. We have a lot of unique things that make Manitoba and Winnipeg really quite a special destination. We have a few things to feature. Speaking of being a smarter and great move and decision to make, our community at large here in Winnipeg is considered one of the world's most intelligent communities. And so we've also been voted one of the 100 greatest cities. And this has a lot to do with where we are, the livability, the technology that's developed and enhanced here. We, again, are a very cost competitive city, so the budget goes a lot further when you're looking at all these things that you want to do: study, live, work, perhaps even settle, buy a house, get a job, afford the things that you want to do in life, because the cost of living in a city like Winnipeg is considerably lower than in other cities in Canada and definitely different cities in North America. So we are, one of the top 10 student destinations in North America. It's an attractive place to be with a less cost than other places that you could choose. But with all the wonderful amenities of a big city, we're the 6th biggest city in Canada. So we do have all the things that students want to do, from culture and art and fun things to do within the city and outside of the city. But again, at a fraction of the cost. Staying in Winnipeg is also to the advantage, making the smarter move for a student. Moving here, making that, again, smart decision. For practical standpoint, Winnipeg is very diverse, industrial base. It's a steady economic growth. We're actually one of the largest aerospace industries. I don't know if many of you know that, but we do have considerable opportunities in this field, in this industry. One, of course, that the University of Manitoba also supports, in the fact that students can study within these areas, and this helps lead them into jobs within these different industries here, right in here in the city. We are also a very tech hub with companies like Amazon and Ubisoft setting up here. In fact, Ubisoft recently announced that it will triple its workforce in Winnipeg, because Winnipeg is where the talent is, according to them. So there's a lot of people who are really driving a lot of great industry here that's very popular, that really sets us as a tech hub at the city in Canada. Agriculture, also very big within the University of Manitoba, within Winnipeg, within Manitoba. Manitoba being a prairie province means that growing food, growing crops, the industry of agriculture is huge here. And so that is a really interesting field, and I'll let Nick talk more about it, but it's definitely one of the fields that an ICM student can really take advantage of when they start with us and continue into the University of Manitoba. I mentioned quickly that Winnipeg and Manitoba in general, we are a very active city and province. We really celebrate everything. We are very excited about all of our seasons. We're very excited about festivals. It's a big city by Canadian standards, but by many international cities, we are not considered a huge city. So it's a very approachable city with a lot of people from all over. Extremely multicultural city with a lot of different families who have settled from all over the world. So food in Winnipeg is from all corners of the earth. You definitely can tell your students that they will find the comforts of home right here in Winnipeg, based on all the different multicultural groups that are settled here. There are so many different languages spoken. There are so many ways to celebrate, of course, our differences and similarities as well, with over 130 days of festivals, everything from culture to music to theater. We celebrate every season as well, including winter. So yes, even when winter brings its cold and snow, we do celebrate. We get out there, we enjoy. It's something that Winnipeggers, like myself, like Nick, we are very proud of, is to really embrace each season. And we do get all 4 seasons. We do get some beautiful hot summers that are really great to spend at the beach. Yes, we have beaches, beautiful freshwater beaches that we love to go to. We do enjoy our autumns, which are breathtaking, especially on campus. They are really quite something with the different colors and trees. Right to our winters that are snowy and lovely, and we get to go ice skating on the river and enjoy every minute we can. We do celebrate every season because this is a place where you do get those very distinct times of the year, and that's really something different for some people. So we like to encourage students to really embrace all of those different changes in weather. Bring the clothes or buy the clothes that you need. Really feel like you're a real Canadian when you survive winter. It's really quite an accomplishment. And it's something that's, again, we're used to it here. We've built for it. It's not something that students need to worry about, but it is something that students look forward to in my experience. So it's always fun to see students experience sometimes their first snowfall or playing in the snow or going on some activities with the groups of students here to go again ice skating or do snowshoeing or just enjoy some of the frozen weather. So we do embrace it. It happens. We like it here. You'll like it too. The University of Manitoba, and again, I'm going to have Nick, he'll explain a lot more about the university as well, but just to touch on it, the University of Manitoba, where ICM is located and connected, we're quite proud to be a part of a university that really celebrates undergraduate programs, graduate programs, medical doctoral university. It's a very international campus as well, so students who are studying at the university do come from all over the world, and a lot of the students have started right here at ICM. As the universities, the university again is a the university is one of Canada's, Western Canada's oldest universities. As the just medical doctoral university, it has also over 100 internationally accredited recognized programs. There's a really excellent standing we have, which is that we are ranked within the top 350 universities worldwide. There are thousands of universities worldwide. The University of Manitoba is ranked within the top 400. So this is quite something. It tells you a lot about what standard we have at the University of Manitoba as far as research, instructors, professors, and students that are studying with us and the professionalism that is here. This is something that I think speaks a lot about what University of Manitoba is able to achieve through the success of its students. Those students are again really contributing to what makes this university set itself apart from other universities in Canada and the world. The University of Manitoba is also one of the U15, which is group of Canadian top universities. So top 15 universities. It's kind of equivalent to being part of Ivy League, and the universities that University of Manitoba keeps company with in this university U15 membership includes some of these familiar names. So U15 members, again, Queens, Mcgill, Calgary, UBC, Western. So the University of Manitoba is in a league with these different universities. These are some of the most prestigious universities. And being part of U15 is an honor. It's also, it means that the U15 collectively helps to shape the research agenda. So funding for universities all across Canada, being U15 member means that universities can attract some of the best and brightest professors. It can be that difference between some programs succeeding and really having an excellent following of, again, instructors, professors, professionals in the field, and students gaining the experience from those really high achieving people. So this is a really great place to be for students who are interested in really learning from the best. So question or no? No, okay. So the university is not only a wonderful place for research, which encourages students, of course, to come and really succeed in the academics, but it's also a very wonderful place to come and grow as a person. Okay, so students coming to Winnipeg, choosing to come to Canada, there's a lot that goes into that decision. The comfort level that we want students to have means that we still want them to feel that they're able to get involved in and enjoy their time with the university. They can choose so many different, over 350 different activities on campus that students can get involved with. And this connects really well to the city of Winnipeg as well. Of course, building that CV. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Let me pause for a second here. Building a CV is very important. Sorry. Building a CV is very important.
Do you want to get a drink of water or something?
Sorry.
Lost, right.
Lost my voice for a second. All good.
Right.
So yeah, choosing to be involved in activities is important. It connects students to the campus, to other students, making friends, making connections. For example, the co-op program is very important for students who are interested in working and gaining credit for that work. This is an important part of the process for students to really network with the right companies, people. This connects them to the employers that are going to be people who may hire them, or at very least vouch for them when they're looking to find work here in Manitoba or abroad. So now why ICM? So in particular, international students, we recognize that they have not necessarily had the experience of being a student in Canada. So they may have spent some time, maybe as a high school student who has traveled to Canada at some point, but in all likelihood, many students who decide to come for post-secondary have not experienced studying abroad before. They certainly have not come to Canada before. So university students, university is a different life. Coming and starting in university is, again, brave and wonderful thing to do, but it is different. Not going through the Canadian system can mean that students aren't quite sure about exactly how things work. What is the grading system? What is it like in a classroom? What does it mean to be in a big classroom with lots of people? How are professors at university different from high school teachers? All this can be a little confusing, can be a little overwhelming, but we want to make sure that students feel that they're making the right choice and decision in moving very far away from their family. And so what we are here to do is help make that pathway, that transition a lot easier. We want students to feel comfortable. We want them to feel that they have every success available to them because they have a little bit of extra help and they have a slightly different program to start with. This is going to add a great deal of comfort and a great deal of stress reduction for students and their parents and their agents, because we know that students are connected to a whole network of people back home who care for their well-being, their success, and what they are going to achieve. And so ICM is a really great way for those students who maybe need a little extra support to transition into university life. So this is essentially what ICM does. And we connect right with the University of Manitoba. We are on campus. Students take their classes within the campus. So there's already going to be a good connection for students when they start with ICM. So how this works in particular is that the university classes that students will take with ICM do count as year one. So essentially they're taking their first year of university with ICM, International College, and this is going to count as that year one or first year of university classes. It will be 30 credits. It will be a full first year before they apply to transition into the University of Manitoba for second year and second year level classes. So students will be achieving an equivalent to that first year of university, but it will be just slightly different. That first year with the ICM is going to be structured slightly different. It's going to have a few different resources available outside of the University of Manitoba resources. And this is how we help to set that student up for success so that their next few years at the university, they are feeling more comfortable, well supported, and they understand the system a little bit better so that they will be successful, get good grades, connect with the right people, network, get co-op opportunities, and continue to be a really successful student in the future. So how we do that? Well, precisely, ICM is going to offer students a slightly smaller class size. They're going to have extended instructor time. the academic skills workshops available as well, social events, an entire department connected to students through student experience, student leadership opportunities to volunteer and to become a little bit more involved in some of their activities, some of the things that, again, make a student experience really wonderful. They get personalized advising. We have a whole team of advisors focused on just these students, just this student's first year. So everything that could be from academics and what do I take in my first term and how do I sign up for my courses, to any issues that may arise, any problems in students' lives. We have career counseling, we have mental health counseling, we have life coach, a certified life coach on staff, we have the academic advisors here to help students, of course, plan their academic schedule. We have advisors who are helping to help apply to the University of Manitoba to transition in. And so every step of the way, there are some people here that are supportive and they play the role of helping to move that student along into their future career at the university. So we want to make sure, again, that students feel that they have all those resources available to them. And so this is where the extended classes are just, again, a little bit longer. Instead of maybe a 100-person class, it's maybe a 30 or 40-person class. We recognize that international students may be a little bit intimidated by being in a classroom full of Canadian students that they don't know. So just being an exclusive international school means that all the students have come from somewhere else. And this is a really great first introduction. This is where students make some lifelong friends for sure. They will, of course, join other Canadians in the second year, but they'll by then have been a little bit more familiar with campus, probably living on campus, and this just gives them that really great start. While they are students with ICM, like I mentioned, they do have classes on campus, and so there is a full integration into campus right from the get-go. Students not only study on campus, but they can take advantage of all of the different recreation centers, activities on campus as well. So they have full access to the gym, the climbing rock wall. They have full access to the health clinic, personal counseling, again, career counseling through the university, computer labs, libraries, everything in university student has access to, ICM students do as well. So to briefly touch on some of the programs that students can do, we connect students to a huge variety of programs directly. And so students really can start with many programs right here at ICM that go right into a second year university experience at UM. Our main focus areas would be in agriculture and food sciences, within arts, engineering, business, environment, earth and resources, recreation management, and sciences. So I mentioned before, in particular, our agriculture and food sciences area. And I'll let Nick talk a little bit more about these programs in particular. But this is a really interesting area that I think students are really going to be really focusing on for the future. The world's crops. Where do we grow food? How do we grow food? How does it relate to business? How does it relate to science? How does it relate to environment? Connecting what we do to create the foods that we need. How does this make sense for our world, and what role can students play in this new world and advancing technologies when it comes to food science and agriculture? And the University of Manitoba has a really excellent program that's focusing on creating and training some of the world's most leading experts on these fields. This is always going to be an important area of study and work. And so really you can see here, it says 90% of agricultural food sciences really obtain a job within 1 year after graduating within that first year. And they're working within their field because it is a very important industry. And so we're turning out students who are playing, again, a really important role in the future of food science and how and what we eat. So this is a really interesting area that I think a lot of students will really benefit from if they happen to go through it. Business, of course, everyone is asking about business, always ask for School of Business. This is a really one of the biggest programs at the University of Manitoba. It's a really wonderful focus. The Asper School of Business is one of the top business schools in Canada. In fact, it's accreditation puts it in the top 5% of business schools in the world. The degree is a Bachelor of Commerce with an honors, meaning that students will study business discipline. They'll also take classes in a variety of different areas. And so the idea is to be a very well-rounded business leader. So students will be taking areas from finance to accounting to marketing to communications and a variety of different areas that are really going to help benefit them in the future. What really makes this program special is the connection it has to the business community here in Winnipeg. And so I've mentioned before co-ops, so working cooperatively, students who are connected to local businesses to get that experience working in the real world while also gaining credit for that experience. This is very key for this program in particular, networking with the right companies and people who will potentially be future employers and definitely will be future references for students. It's really gainful employment after graduation to connect with these different resources right from the get-go. And of course, engineering. So engineering being, again, a really popular program that many students are really excited to start in. And students can begin their engineering program with ICM. To say out loud, and first of all, engineering is a very competitive entry program. It's a very difficult program to work through. It takes a very dedicated, high-achieving student to enter and continue in engineering. And yes, there are many different areas, classic programs like mechanical, civil, electrical, computer, biosystems, and of course, the demand for students graduating out of these programs is huge. And so 95% of engineering graduates, of course, have jobs secured upon graduation. So it is a very excellent field. It is an excellent program to get into, but it is a very competitive entry program. And so it is usually what we will tell students that they do need to have very high math, physics, chemistry to be successful applying into engineering because the profession is competitive and the top students can really continue on. And so this is telling you, I think, that if students that you have are interested in this field, they really need to be some of the highest achieving students that you may recommend to come to engineering. It is one of the only programs available through this pathway, through ICM with Navitas. And so University of Manitoba is very proud to be one of the only universities to connect with ICM and offer this opportunity for students, high achieving students. One of the last things that I like to cover is some of the opportunities for students to live on campus. And so students can choose to stay in a homestay. They can live on campus. They can do private rental. There's no requirement for students to stay on campus, but they are welcome to do so with the University of Manitoba residence options. There are some really great options to choose from right on campus, so students can wake up and walk outside to their classrooms. And for affordability as well, this is one of the best cost options. Staying in a private rental is not a bad option for students who have maybe already been here for a term or two. They've made some friends, they have some ideas on where they would like to live, but I would always recommend for our first term students that living on campus is one of the best ways to connect to a community, meet some friends, and really have that ease of where you're going to go in Winnipeg, how you get to and from places. Being right on campus means they shouldn't be late for class. They have a food plan to take advantage of. They don't need to cook for themselves if they don't want to. So part of the really great experience about being a student in an international college is living right on campus and being always connected to that community of international students yourself. So kind of lastly, that's one of the last things that I know students are often talking about or asking about, once they've decided to travel all the way here, they've decided that this is where they want to study, where do they live, how does that work? We do connect with the University of Manitoba residence options, so students can choose to live on campus if they want. And lastly, one of the last things here is just to connect with us. So we do offer a lot of ways to connect and see what we're doing on campus. Our students are also a really excellent resource. And we do have a program online to meet and chat with our students. So I would always recommend to any students who may have interested or parents that they can reach out to different students on our TAC program, so the ambassador program right on our website, and find out what it's really like. So you can ask me. I'm happy to explain, the process and how this goes and what it's like on campus. But I don't think there's a better way to find out what it's really like to be an ICM and a University of Manitoba student than to speak to a real one. Learn from a student who is a current student or who is a former alumni, or who is a university student right now. This is the great way to see kind of what it's like, and we're happy to connect students to agents, to our partners, to families who are interested about learning more. So this is, again, sort of the last thing I'll mention, but it is an important one. Right on our website, you can take advantage of this. Lots of ways to see what's going on campus and share that with students and parents and anyone who might be interested in the future. So that'll be it for me. I'm happy to take questions at the end or whatever you see fit there, Jennifer. But yeah, thanks for listening. I hope this was informative and useful, and I hope we learned a bit more about ICM. And I'm excited for Nick to continue on with a little bit more in-depth info about the University of Manitoba.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jenny. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or at the end, we'll have a short Q&A session. Jenny, are you okay to stay for a little while? Okay. Yep. So next we have Nick from the University of Manitoba, and he's actually a graduate of the University of Manitoba. So he's also going to be sharing some of his own experience as an international student there. So Nick, are you ready to start?
Sure, let me just share my screen. So at this time, I also want to mention that I was ICM students also, and also the UM student. I graduated from Master's of Business.
Even better.
Just share my screen here. I suppose all the people can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
1 second. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for this presentation about the international students come study in the heart of Canada. My name is Nicholas, and I work for the student recruitment team at the University of Manitoba. I'm so excited that you have taken the time to explore the University of Manitoba. Just so you know, I was also international student at the UM. I graduated from Oxford School of Business, University of Manitoba. I got my Bachelor of Honor degree here. So if your students are interested in Oxford or are interested in our university, please feel free to reach out to me via my working email or working chat. I'd be happy to share my personal experience with you. So at the beginning, I would like to share the non-knowledge first. The University of Manitoba campuses are located on original land of Anishinaabe, Carrie, Oji, Carrie, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of Métis nations. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and the mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation. So today I will cover the 3 topics. The first, I would like to highlight some advantage when international students choose the University of Manitoba. Secondly, I will touch on UM's program. And lastly, I will talk about the admission. I suppose you may or may not be familiar with the University of Manitoba, but don't worry, I will use a 1-minute video to give you an overall. Okay, the University of Manitoba is located in the city of Winnipeg, Manitoba, the geographic center of Canada and even North America. The Manitoba is an exciting place to live, learn, and explore. I really like Manitoba because it is a friendly people due to the multiculturalism, welcoming spirit, and friendly residents. International students will feel safe and comfortable when they are living here. Winnipeg is one of the highest potential city. Now, Winnipeg is home to the over 800,000 people and make it the seventh largest city in Canada. Of course, a great location. Winnipeg's location means this city plays a lot of prominent role in the transportation, finance, manufacturing, agriculture, and education. Now, I will show you a 2.5 minutes video.
Look around. Winnipeg is a city on the rise, and the rest of the world is beginning to see it too. You can feel a new sense of momentum in our people and in our streets, but we can't afford to lose it now. This is a pivotal time in our city's history, and the fact is, if we don't continue to work together, we will fall behind. If we want a stronger Winnipeg, we need to make new investments into the city and the economy. If we want to stay competitive, we need to attract businesses, talent, and investment. Yes, Winnipeg was created by the private sector, and we are driven by your needs, building and executing strategies to help grow your business and Winnipeg's economy. And our strategies are working. By acting as a conduit for foreign investors, we're attracting new talent and business opportunities to Winnipeg and helping grow the businesses already here. Together, we've seen major successes over the last year. We've made headlines and breathed new life into Winnipeg's economy. Our city is changing, and yes, Winnipeg is changing too. We're finding new ways to create value for our investors, to keep you better informed, and create new opportunities to grow your business. We are not like other cities. We're tight-knit and strongly connected because we understand that we rise or fall together. Let's leverage our village and continue to build the momentum. Yes, Winnipeg. Growing your business here.
Okay, this is the video about our province and the city. Let's move to our first topic today, the advantage of when international students choose the UM. So the first, international students will enjoy the high quality of education from the world-respected university at a very reasonable and affordable cost. So the University of Manitoba is the only research university in Manitoba, and UM is a world-respected university. This year, we are one of the top 300 universities in the whole world. The University of Manitoba is among Canada's top research institutions, combining in-class knowledge with practical applications and field work with professionals in dozen fields, called U15. University tuition fee is among the lowest across Canada, even North America. This is one reason why I choose the UM for studying. So here I will just list the price range here, the 30,600 to 24,400 Canadian dollars, which means students take like 1 year, assuming take 10 courses here. So it's a little bit equal to the domestic students in the Ontario University or the BC province. And beyond being the highest potential city, we are also the practical city to live in. This is one of the main reasons attract more and more students come study here. We are the #1 most cost competitive city across all US and Western Canada. So that means we have a low cost for food and living. The second advantage, Manitoba, your great, safe, and new home. Winnipeg is the largest aerospace center in Western Canada to offer lots of opportunity to our students. Also, Winnipeg has a highly diverse and stable economic. Winnipeg's economic has not experienced downfall in the last 20 years. Even during the pandemic, Winnipeg kept the second lowest employment rate city. Winnipeg is named the Winnipeg is named the 7th most intelligent communities in the whole world in the 2021 due to our city's technology sector and access to the technology. Many large technology companies would also choose Winnipeg as their home base in Western Canada. For example, Ubisoft, a large gaming company, chose Winnipeg as their Western Canada headquarters. Also, we have one of the fast immigration program in this country and named the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program. That program is really, convenient, really good, easy for the people who want to looking for the immigration for sure. The third advantage, international students will get lots of meaningful students experience. As a research university in Manitoba, the UM have lots of excellent research opportunities. Students not only receive the world-class instruction from the award-winning professors and researchers, students also have the opportunity to work alongside with this grand mind to gain the research experience at an undergraduate level. University of Manitoba offer lots of co-op opportunities for all students, including international students. There are data. The 97% of Oxford School business co-op students were employed full-time after graduation. I did my co-op at Navitas to recruit international students. So it is one reason my director and the leader decided to hire me to fill this student recruitment officer position. See if you have a co-op experience, it's really good for you to looking for the job in Canada. I also highly recommended the international exchange program. Of course, international students can join this international exchange as well. The work hard, play hard. UM offer more than 100 international exchange programs in over 30 countries. I joined the program at Oxford and exchanged the master in France. I took 5 courses in Cage Business School and I scheduled all my courses on Tuesday and Wednesday only. Because I just want to study 2 days and for the rest of the week, just for traveling. So I do remember for the Wednesday afternoon class, I'm always the first presenter because when I finished my presentation, I went to the airport directly. When the class ends, I was already in another country by 9.9 euro flight ticket. I just missed all days. Okay, let's move to the next topic to talk about the academic program. So I list all the faculties, college, and schools which are available at the UM. As you can see, some of the attached small red maple leaves just open to the Canadian citizen or PR, and PR. And some of in blue just offer more professional programs, which means their programs require students have 1 or more years of university experience. So I just want to touch the 5 most popular faculty at the UM. The first one is the Faculty of Arts. The arts degree is valuable for its ability to help you and your students to understand the world, explore the topic relating to language, culture, and society, to give the students a wider range of the new skill set. We offer the 3 and 4 years program to help students to acquire oral and writing communication skills, research ability, and critical thinking skills in their chosen fields of study. So more than 40 area of study offer the co-op opportunity, and also for sure the exchange opportunity is also work for the Faculty of Arts students. And move to the Faculty of Science students, almost the same as the Faculty of Arts. The 3 years degree program called the general degree. It's also a bachelor degree. So we offer more than 30 3-year degree programs in our university in Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Science. So students will get the Bachelor of Arts general degree and Bachelor of Science general degree, just complete the 90 credit hours with a minimum GPA of 2.0, which means just 60%. Which means all the people can just pass these courses. And in all courses choose the major. This program is particularly suited students who wish to seek the employment or enter the professional academic program after graduation as early as possible. So in addition, if students want to apply for the computer science, attention please, the computer science is belong to the Faculty of Science. So if a student looking for the how to say more want to do more the biology or physics, also belong to the Faculty of Science. So for the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Science, which is the most popular, one of the most popular faculty at UM. So we offer lots of almost 7 major here for the 4-year degree programs. I just want to mention the 3 of them. The first one is the Human Nutritional Science. So Human Nutritional Science, because more and more students are interested in our rigorous dietetic, this career path. So our major has a certificate for the PDEP, so which means our the courses plus our co-op are a certificate for this professional department, which means if you choose this pathway, you have a lot of chance to be a registered dietetic. And for also for the food science, so we got the IFT certificate. Only the 88 universities in the whole world can get this certificate, and only 5 universities in Canada. So most of the people want to chase the Oxford School of Business, but our Oxford School of Business is a little bit competitive. So don't worry about that. They also have the agribusiness is really good for you. So as I mentioned before, I mean not mention before, sorry. The food industry is our largest industry in Manitoba. So which means that there are more than 1,800 companies just do the deal with in the food science industry, which means that there are more and more the position available for the agribusiness students. And also our Oxford School of Business, as Jenny mentioned before, we have the AACSB certificate. It's only less than 5% of business school had that certificate. And just a fun fact here, we have 12 majors. So people here, students at Oxford can easily to complete the double major. So I graduated from Oxford Business in marketing and supply chain management. We do not need to take more courses or use more time. We just need to complete the 4 years with 40 courses. Just it. And the last but not least is the Price Faculty of Engineering. So we will have 5 focus area: the civil, electronical, biosystem, computer, and mechanic. So as I mentioned before, we are the largest aerospace in Western Canada. So we also have an aerospace option here. Just the mechanical engineering is the top 5 in Canada and the top 15 in North America. And for the biosystem, it's the top 2 in Canada and top 10 in North America. So we have lots of high-ranking program. Okay, let's move to the last topic today. It's about the admission requirements. So as for the general entrance requirements, we need your high school graduation with a minimum 5 full credit at the senior level, and for the high school students. And for the transfer students, we need all transcripts from the recognized post-secondary institution in the last 10 years. Also, the different program has a specific admission requirements. So please go to our website and learn more. Because I suppose some students maybe not from the non-English speaking countries, so we may also need the proof of English professionals for sure. So our website will show the all accepted English professional test. I just list the 2 examples here. For the IELTS, we require 6.5 overall and no less than 6.0 in the each category. And for the TOEFL, we need a minimum 86, no less than 20 in the each 4 categories. And also our English Language Center offers a conditional admission consideration for the international students through the intensive academic English program. This program will help students will have better grade in the university study. So I also want to mention the U1 because most of us directly entry will end will close in March 1st. So, but U1 is still available. If you are interested in our university, U1 will be a good, perfect choice. So U1 also is really good for the new high school graduate students as well, especially international students, because they may or may not be familiar with the Canadian university system. So when I was a fresh high school graduate, when I first saw lots of program options, to be honest, I have no idea what major should I take. So U1 is a great program that can explore more than one program. You can figure out what you truly like based on this first year experience. But don't worry, U1 is not conditional, additional foundation year. So it will not to add additional time or cost. When you complete the U1, you can turn to the Faculty of Arts or Faculty of Science, or apply for the other program of choice. So that's all today about my sharing. So if you have any question, please hit the chat box, and both Jenny and I will here to answer your questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, as Nick said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions in the chat box, or you can just unmute your mic and ask the questions. I actually have some questions, so I guess I can start first. Jenny, are you there? Okay, so I have a question regarding safety in Winnipeg or on the campus of University of Manitoba, because as girls, as women, like we would be more concerned about whether it's safe. So what do you think? Is it safe in Winnipeg? Is it safe on the campus of University of Manitoba?
It's a good question, because it is a concern, of course, everywhere in the world. Everyone who is a parent who's sending their student to a different place that they maybe haven't been should ask, what are things that are in place to ensure safety, to make people feel safe, and in general, are the things we should be worried about in different places. Winnipeg itself is considered a very safe city. It is a big city. Again, by Canadian standards. So it is a big city, and so big cities do have things that happen. Their students are going to be primarily located within the south part of the city for most of their time as they study, and if they live on campus, that's where they'll primarily be spending a lot of their time. The city itself is quite safe. The southern part of the city where the university is a very safe, wonderful neighborhood. It's a lot of families that live in the area. It's a lot of businesses that are located there. A lot of really great spaces for students to go to and to visit and to feel very at ease. So in general, it's a very safe, welcoming place. Students, of course, should be aware of their surroundings at all times, just like you would advise them to if they were to head into a downtown of any major city. And on campus in particular, we do have a lot of security measures just in case. It is a big campus where people are driving into the campus from one end to the other. So it is a large enough campus to accommodate some city streets. And so it is a big space where students should be quite aware of what's going on around them at all times. So there are a lot of security people that are available to help should students need it. The whole campus is considered a very safe space by a lot of different camera setups everywhere, just to ensure students feel comfortable and feel like they are part of a really great space that's accommodating any concerns that may come up. So yeah, it is a safe general city. It's a generally safe campus. A lot of people feel really that it's taken quite seriously, the safety aspect for students. So yeah, I would hope that people feel quite comfortable being in and sending their students to a city like Winnipeg. Definitely lower crime rates than other big cities in general. So it's I choose to live here. A lot of people have immigrated here and chosen to live here. So it is a space that takes that into consideration on campus in particular.
Thank you. I see we have a question in the chat box, but I don't know, would Nick be able to answer this question? Can students study this master, physical therapy master, to become a physiotherapist in Canada? Do you know?
Sorry for that, because our team just responsible for the undergraduate program. So for the master about this one, you know what, I can just to search the gallery to looking for the how to say the
details.
I will just looking for the information and just share the chat box for sure.
Okay. So Jenny, I was wondering, so how easy is it for you to travel to other big cities from Winnipeg? Like how long would the flights or drive be?
Well, the drive is long, but it's something very popular for people to do. So actually being in the center of Canada, what's interesting is a lot of people who live here or come here or travel here, they do decide to take a road trip. It's very, very, very common for students. Like when I was a student and I graduated high school, a couple of friends and I decided to drive out west to BC, to British Columbia. It's a very popular thing to do, to drive to the mountains. It does take a long time. It takes about, I think it's 12 hours at least to get to Calgary by driving, but to fly, let's say all the way to Vancouver is only 3 or 4 hours or so. It's about 2 hours to Toronto by flight, but it would be a really long drive to Toronto. The country is really quite huge, but it is accessible. So students can definitely fly from one city to the other very easily. You can drive, it's going to take a long time. And so students who do come travel here, the idea of driving out to the mountains for the weekend is a lovely thought, but unfortunately it will probably take you, it will take you at least a full day to drive out to one of the closer cities in the mountains, Calgary. So flying out is probably your best option if you're wanting to visit a different part of Canada for a few days.
So how long is the flight to Toronto?
About 2 hours. About 2 hours flight. Yeah, and because
in the middle,
Canada's
so it's 2 hours from Vancouver, 2 hours from Toronto.
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah.
About that, yeah. So and because
So
the time difference,
middle.
yeah, there's a time difference. Canada's so big that we have different time zones, and so when you're flying, even though it's 3 or 2 hours, sometimes when you're flying, you're losing an hour or gaining 2. So
totally, yeah, you will spend exactly 2 or 2.5 hours on the plane, but the time difference. So I mean the time zone difference. So you will see like some place maybe the 5 more hours or like 1 hours because of different time zone. But actually you just spend 2 hours.
Okay. I have a question for Nick. Since you are you used to be an international student, did you experience any kind of discrimination? Like, was it easy to make friends with non-Chinese people in Manitoba?
Oh, for sure, because even we have a diverse like about a student body group, but just 20% about the international students, which means 6,000 international students, and for the Chinese students, it's just less than 1,000 students. So which means that they are really good the language environment. You have lots of time to learn not only English but also the other language. So I also make some friends like from Japan and how say the Latin America. So I learn a little bit of Spanish for them. So totally, it's really cool. Yeah.
Can we hear some of your Spanish, Nick? Can you share with us some Spanish?
Soy Nicola. I just know something like that. And also gracias and nada, something like that. No,
that's all you need to know.
Just learn a few. It's
good. That's the exposure that you get when you're in a part of a campus in a city that's so multicultural, though. You do pick up a lot of different languages.
Just like in the Faculty of Arts, we have a Spanish club. So if you want to learn more like Spanish, you will you can go to there, like just, explore more. Yeah, Spanish club, Italian club, we have lots of like language club. So people can easily to learn different culture, different language in University of Manitoba.
Oh, sounds good. All right. So any other questions? I know it's been a very detailed session, so I don't think there will be a lot of questions. So one last call. What time
And
is
Jennifer,
it?
just so you know, sorry, just so you know, I already like put our link and the contact information in the chat box. Yeah, to answer the questions.
Okay, so that was who asked the question? Jason, right? Was it? Yeah, Jason. So Jason, you can find the links to the physiotherapy program that you were asking about in the chat box. So Nick has left the link there.
And we do not have a limited number of places for the international students. So all the students had equally to join the major, especially like popular to the food science or the after school business for sure, totally.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so Jason got it. Okay, so I think it's pretty late at pretty late in Winnipeg now, right? So
yeah.
I think we will
right, it's bedtime. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll end this session. Thank you both, and thank everybody so much for joining us today. So if you have any more further questions, you can ask, you can email me or Chris for the Hong Kong agents and me for the Taiwan agents, and I'll pass the questions on to Nick and Jenny. So thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Nick. Good to see you. Bye, Jennifer.
Same here. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.